Welcome to a Community Tourism in Scotland podcast with Scott, Montrose Playhouse and Bancon Construction.
Hi and welcome to this short session on community-led tourism at its best. I'm Janice from Social Enterprise Network Scotland. I'm local to Montrose and a big supporter of the Montrose Playhouse project. As a way of a bit of a background, Montrose Playhouse project is a truly remarkable community venture. It's been 78 years in the making and the team are on the countdown to opening night. The vision of turning what was once an old disused swimming pool into a fabulous modern community facility and tourist attraction is nearing completion, which is really exciting. And it's all down to the hard work of a small team of volunteers who've had a tremendous level of support in all manners and forms, from local people, volunteers, skilled trades, local businesses, and the backing of the local authority to make the vision into a reality. New cultural facility being established here in Montrose has indeed been community-led. Without them, it simply would never have happened. The total project costs came in around about 3.3 million, which was quite hefty actually. And the team has worked tirelessly to raise the capital needed. 2.26 million of this was secured through Scottish Government's Regeneration Capital Grant Fund. And from this, the Playhouse project were able to contract the services of Bancon Construction to complete the build project. A firm who has a reputation for delivering first-class quality services in the construction industry. I've no doubt that Montrose Playhouse project will go on to be the go-to venue for all movie lovers, arts, crafts and culture creators here in the northeast of Scotland. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Matt Buchanan, venue manager from Montrose Playhouse, Kane, who's the business development manager with Bancon Construction. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing more about the project, what it is like to be involved in a community-led tourism project, and what the plans are for the future. So if I can first go to you, Matt, welcome. It's really nice to see you. I hope you're settling into your new role. I'd really like to find out why Montrose Playhouse? What has it attracted you to this community-led venture?
So for me, it was quite a big change in career and sort of a big step for me. And it was a chance to do something absolutely amazing and to make a difference rather than just making money for other people. And I get to do something I love at the same time, because I love movies, I love culture, I love like everything about it, and food as well, which is important. So, I mean, almost every job I've had before this one, the only consideration when you're making decisions is, will it make more money for the business? Not is it the right thing to do or is it the best thing to do? So at the Playhouse, every decision I make, I have to challenge myself to base everything on staying true to our why, like why we're doing it and our core values. And if I could sum that up, it would be everything we do is to improve the lives of people in Montrose and Angus. So I sort of use that as a start point, and that's an amazing place to be able to make a decision from, rather than, is this going to make more money? So it is challenging, but it's incredibly rewarding, both professionally and personally. And hopefully it means we'll get the best outcomes for the most important people, who are the people using the facility and the people in the Montrose and Angus. And of course I needed a job. So that was a prime factor as well. So
very important, isn't it? This employment and jobs, but I mean, that's one of the key things around this venture as well, is about creating employment for people in the local community, and of course generating the sort of extended economic benefits from that for other local businesses and that. So yeah, I think your key points around balancing that business versus the social purpose is one of the challenges, but it's one of the real good rewards from working in a community venture. So yeah, that's really good to see. What do you think the key success factors have been so far? I know that you most recently came into post, but I'm quite sure you're aware of the backgrounds.
yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of funding applications, which sort of gives you a real insight into the history of what's been going on. And I think the key points are that it's community-led governance, and it has been from the start. I think, you've got David Payton, Kristen Alexander, yourself, Janice, David May, all local residents, all people who care about Montrose and Angus passionately, who've led this from the start. I think, we've also engaged local businesses, local people. We did 2 market research rounds at the start, and we adhere to the 7 standards of community engagement. So we've always been speaking to the community. We've got 9,000 followers on Facebook in a town of like 12,000 people. We average about 18,000 people reach a week on our Facebook. We generally get about 6,000 engagements to every post we do, which is absolutely incredible for the size of organization we are. And I think the most impressive thing was the strip out, the DIY SOS. So that actually saved us about £250,000 on the bill. It was 80 local volunteers came in and smashed up the old diving boards and ripped that all out and pulled out tons of sand. But we were also supported by people from Baker Hughes with technical expertise for pulling out the equipment in the plant rooms, and local businesses fed and watered everyone for free, and stuff like that. It's absolutely incredible. I mean, I must admit, I've come into this and I've been in for 2 months, and I feel like a little bit in awe of everybody who's done so much before.
Yeah.
So my plan is just to come and steal the glory at the end, and then just tell everybody it was all my plan.
That sounds a really good plan.
That's a good plan.
It is, isn't it? So I know.
The last thing I was going to say though was that we have built some partnerships with local schools. Like we do Christmas films every year for them, and this year we'll be able to do them in the Playhouse for the first time. We've got connections with care homes, charities in the area, and we're building a fit for purpose community program. The other employee at the moment of our 2 employees is our social development officer, Caroline Farquhar, and she's continuing to build those connections in the community and build a program that's fit for purpose. On the other side, I've been working with quite a few local businesses getting sponsorship. We recently brought the Montrose Port Authority on board, who are going to sponsor our box office. It's all these things and getting all these opportunities for people that really bring it into the community. So it's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
I mean, it is amazing, and I think it just demonstrates the value of that sort of close-knit community where it crosses across all sectors, public, private, and individuals. So, and the community business sector as well. So it does prove that it does really work when people have a common aim, and the work's been fantastic. It really has. I can't wait for it to open. So can you tell us a bit about the new facilities? Because I actually haven't had a tour of the site. I've been busy working anytime there's been a tour and haven't been able to make it. So could you maybe give us a bit of an insight to what the facilities will be like? I know you touched on it just a moment earlier, and what's going to be on offer.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 3-screen cinema, and I should just say these are not little diddy screens. These are 9-meter by 5-meter screens, the sort of size you'd get in a sort of small screen in a multiplex. So, a pretty impressive size. Seats just under 450 between the three screens. So again, a huge capacity, but the screens are all multi-purpose. So screen 1 has got a stage which will be set up for concerts. You could have stand-up comedians. You could have product launches, big presentations, corporate stuff, whatever it is. And screen 3 is going to have beer taps as you go in and stuff like that, and it'll be more of a premiere screen. And I'm not allowed to say too much, but we are in talks with some people about actually having a world premiere there and stuff. So that's the cinema side of it. The community space is going to be absolutely amazing and huge for Montrose and the surrounding area, because there's nothing really ticking that box at the moment. So it'll have about, you can get about 100 people in it standing, but it can split into 2 rooms. So we could have a pottery class in one room, yoga in the other. Then the next day we could have corporate training. Then the next day we could have a drop-in session for counselling. The next day we could, you know what I mean? It is limitless. Oh, and we'll have art exhibitions with local artists down there. So it's a truly multi-purpose space. Like I love the cinema, but that space is probably going to be the driving force, I think. So I think people will come to the cinema, but I think that space will make the difference to the community.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of like the tourist side of things, definitely the cinema will be a big boon. But what if you can go and catch a brilliant exhibition in James Morrison while you're there? What if you can go and see something, you know, completely different? So we're doing stuff with RNLI with their launch program and stuff like that. So I think that space, sorry, I get a bit excited about it. That space is going to be really, really brilliant. And we're also going to have a little retail space, 12 feet deep. And it's going to be selling artwork from local artists and local makers. Excellent. So giving an opportunity there to the community as well to do something a bit different and give them an opportunity that may not have been there before. And then we've got the Real Bar Cafe. So we're just in the process of finalizing our head chef, which I'm not allowed to speak about, but I'm going to get myself in so much trouble. And we're going to make that a really accessible space, and you know, pricing will be accessible, but we're not going to compromise the quality within that. So my background is in a lot of food, you know, food-based businesses. So you know, I love food and I know good food, but I also know you've got to serve people what they want. So there'll be a balance there. But it's also going to provide us with some employability opportunities for modern apprentices, hopefully working with yourself, Janice, to do some more wide-ranging employability stuff. So yeah, I mean, just a real huge range of things we can do there.
It sounds absolutely fantastic, and I mean, I do have background, you know, insight to it, and there's going to be amazing opportunities and a really wide scope for the community. And as a tourist attraction, I mean, already Montrose is, you know, has a really good, you know, tourist offering for the summer months, but in the winter months, so this facility, you know, is really going to open up that tourist attractions and footfall onto the high street and the other businesses, etc. And I think community are going to be really proud of, you know, what they've achieved, you know, even after 1, 2, 3 years. It'll be good to look back and see what's happened. But yeah, I'm really interested to find out more about, you know, this chef. That will be good to know he's coming on board. We all like something good to eat and certainly something to drink as well when we're enjoying ourselves. Thank you. John, if I can come to you, as a business development manager with Bancon Construction, I mean, obviously your company is in charge of the actual build project, and had a timeline to work within, and obviously COVID hit, and I know it delayed the project by a few months. Am I correct in saying that, 2 or 3 months was held back?
I think we had to close in March and we reopened in August, I think. So it has had a bit of an impact, but
I'd like to find out a bit more about your role in Bancon, because I know that you do work very much within communities, local communities across Scotland. So I'd like to hear, you know, just how you're involved and what that means to your organisation.
Obviously my role with Bancon Construction is business development manager. So as well as developing business opportunities, I'm also responsible for ensuring the delivery of our community benefit obligations. So that means engaging with community groups, local charities, schools, universities, colleges, and also the general public as well. So we need to ensure that good community engagement on each project, and to gain an understanding really of the needs or issues of the communities in which we're working, and try and make a positive change wherever we can.
Yeah, no, that sounds really good. Do you find that that's quite easy to do in most communities, or are there any sort of challenges? Or
there is always challenges. It really depends on the project and where you're working, but I think generally it is well received. You know, people are always interested in what's going on in construction. I think sometimes construction can be viewed as a negative thing. It could be a nuisance in a community. So, you know, for us, it's trying to add value and change that negativity into a positive by doing good in the community.
yeah, no, it sounds great. And I mean, yeah, it must be really valuable to your organisation to have that community engagement and that quality, you know, behind, because that is part of your quality framework, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be keen, obviously, about local jobs, local communities, local jobs. You know, how many, are you free to say how many jobs you've created locally, or apprenticeships or anything around that, or is that?
Yes. I think, you know, from our business point of view, when we first did a site visit and met David Payton from Montrose Playhouse project, we recognised that the project had been, you know, a huge part of the local community for many years. You know, it demonstrated to us that there was a strong and positive community there, and they had a shared aspiration for the project. So it was really important that continued through our construction activities. So we wanted to continue the project to be locally led with local businesses who employ local people. We have had 6 apprentices on site.
Excellent.
Various trades, plumbing, electrical, joiner and painter apprentices. We employed a young individual from the Angus area as a trainee site manager. He graduated with a construction management degree in early 2020. So he is currently undergoing an extensive training programme, working very closely with our site manager, so that he can build a good foundation for a successful career in the industry as well. We have also employed a local labourer. He has been on site from the beginning of the project, and that will continue until we hand over in August.
Oh, okay then, so that's the handover. I was just about to say when was that's really good to know. We can look to get our prom dresses or whatever you call it.
Don't take my word for that.
No, I thought that sounded like a guarantee though.
Is there any penalty clauses written in? I need to check that, Matt. That's a target date then. I sort of August, September. I understand, yeah. And everything's going to plan, and that's it. It sounds really great. I just can't believe that it's actually, you know, becoming a reality.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I think having local people working on the project as well, you know, it's going to be a fantastic new facility and a real positive change for the local community. And I think the individuals who have worked on it to change it and bring it to life will have a huge sense of pride. You know, I think it gives them, particularly for the young apprentices, to tell their children and grandchildren that it was a project that they worked on, you know, and I think that's fantastic.
I know, because as part of this sort of fundraising, there's sort of the buy a brick and, you know, buy a paving stone, so you can, you know, have some sort of sentiment, you know, carved into a stone, and it'll be part of the building, well, forever actually, or the, you know, the pavement, is it, and all these things. The old swimming board as well has been dismantled and used in the building. So there's all this sort of historical history, you know, that's retained within the build. So I wonder if maybe if I could get both of your views or your thoughts on the whole concept of communities taking the lead on a tourism offer, you know, as the whole package. Wonder if you had any thoughts on that, Matt. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that, you know, like tourism is a huge thing for Scotland, and coming in off the back of the last sort of 18 months, it's a sector that's going to need a lot of support from the community to make it work again. And I think nervousness from people about welcoming visitors from wherever back in, but I think it's important for us all to acknowledge what a huge part of the Scottish economy it is and play our part in it. And as long as we're doing things safely and sticking to whatever restrictions are on the go, then I don't see it as being anything but a positive, because we all know that new people, new blood and new experiences are what makes a community vibrant. You know, it's acknowledging what's great about it, but it's also welcoming in the new. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to being a part of that and having people come to visit Montrose and go, I never thought you would have something like this here. And going, yeah, we do, but do you know who did it? All these guys around here, you know? And I think that's an amazing advert in itself, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, you know, when it started, as I say, a long time ago, it was like, oh, this is a huge task. But, you know, the work that, you know, the committee actually put in and has been amazing. And they've stuck clear to their vision and their purpose. And I think, personally, I think that's been part of their success as well. They've connected early on with the community, you know, brought everyone along. So they've had that sense of ownership. So, and I think everyone is a bit surprised that actually, you know, it's actually nearly completed. And I keep saying that, just a surprise. Oh, we're just about done it, you know. And I guess now the hard work begins.
Don't tell David that.
But it begins. Is there anything else you would like to perhaps share with us, or?
I mean, I just think, like, in terms of the local economy, we're going to create around 30 odd jobs, 30 to 40 jobs. We're going to tie up with local businesses and do some cross marketing, make sure that the high street benefits from the hopefully improved traffic. You know, hopefully this will be a real engine for social change, you know, in Montrose, inclusivity, accessibility, and we all know what a difference culture can make, and the way that it's affected. For myself personally, you know, it's been huge. So the power to inspire, connect and transform people's lives is limitless within a facility like this. So yeah, I'm super excited, as you can probably tell, and I just can't wait to get going, because I've spent the last 2 days looking at funding applications.
And you have my sympathy, Matt.
This is the first time I've spoken to anybody in 2 days, so I'm just like, you know, I'll be quiet now. But yeah, I just can't wait to invite everybody in, and I really hope we can create something, you know, when it's open. Like you say, there is a lot of hard work when it's open. And I want to create a vibe and an experience for people where they come in and they feel like they're coming into their sitting room to watch a movie, or they're going to their friend's house to have a chat when they're maybe speaking to a charity partner or whatever. You know, I just want people to feel so comfortable. And I'd also, sorry, last thing I'll say is I would say, in my short experience of working with Bancon, Construction, they have been absolutely amazing. And Gordon is so patient, the site manager, with me when I throw a visit at him with like 15 minutes notice and stuff like that. So, you know, they've been an incredibly good company to work with. And you can feel their sort of, the way they want to do business is the right way, and it's been a joy. So thank you.
Oh, I mean, that's we're delighted to hear that, obviously, Matt. I think what we've tried to do is share the passion of the community and, you know, just drive the project to completion, the same as that the community have driven it to get it to this stage as well. So yeah, I mean, it's been a great project for us as well. Projects like this don't come along very often, so for us, we were absolutely delighted to win it, absolutely delighted. So and I say it's been a great project for us to work on as well.
Sorry, I will just say that I was just thinking when you were saying that it's a partnership is how it feels, rather than a client contractor relationship. It feels like you're supporting us every way, so thank you again.
That's fantastic to hear. It really is.
It absolutely is. Thank you.
Well done, everyone involved, I think, isn't it? It's so nice to hear a sort of good news story, if you like, and something that's actually really going to have a huge impact on a small coastal town. Yeah, can't wait to get to the movies, have something nice to eat, and see a bit of culture and what comes along. I think many people will be feeling the same, and it will definitely attract people into the town.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time for Montrose.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time today. It was lovely to have you and to hear from your horse's mouth, if you like. Is that the right saying? You know, what actually it is like. And it all sounds very positive and really exciting. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.